Hey, Fear Minimalist, it's Sophia Lark at thefearminimalist.com, providing trauma recovery tools to help women of color heal complex trauma. Today, we are going to jump into 6 ways that you can start a journal to document your journey through complex trauma, so keep watching. For the best trauma recovery tips, tools, and strategies, be sure to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you'll never miss a video when I upload new content every single Wednesday. All right, guys, welcome to the Fear Minimalist community. If this is your first time here, I am a trauma survivor, a licensed professional counselor, and a certified clinical trauma specialist, helping women of color resolve the effects of complex trauma and build resilience. Okay, so the first step in starting a journal to document your healing journey is to choose a place of solace. Now, I know you're probably going like, okay, but here's the deal. Is not only is this a place that is going to calm you, it provides soothing, tranquil environment where you're kind of like kindred spirits, you and the environment. But the biggest thing is that you want to make sure that you're committed to this place. Because if this is a place that's going to sort of fluctuate between solace and chaos, that's not a good place. And people tend to think, well, yeah, that's, common sense or whatever. But, as soon as the crap hits the fan and the place becomes chaotic, they're wondering where the solace went. And the fact is that your commitment was not there. So what I'm saying is that, yes, choose a place of solace, but make sure you're committed to that place. All right, and the second step is don't try to write when you're highly triggered. Now, that's probably more of an instruction than it is a step, but it's an important one nonetheless. Because what happens is that when you're trying to write about, you're taking a journey through this traumatic experience, through this very complex experience, the first thing that you want to be is calm. And I know sometimes people say, well, writing actually calms me down. But this particular activity of starting a journal to document your healing process is really not about calming down. It's about thinking through a process, having the clarity to be able to articulate the steps that you want to take to transform that trauma into your personal power. And if you're bracing for a threat all the time and if you're highly dysregulated, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to be basically writing to calm yourself down, and that's a whole different activity. We're talking about starting a journal. And so if you want to calm yourself because you're highly upset, something I would recommend is a breathing technique called 4-7-8 or a grounding technique called 5-4-3-2-1, lose your mind, come to your senses. Maybe I'll make a video on that. I've made one in the past about 3-2-1, come to your senses. And it's really about grounding yourself to the moment so you can calm down to be able to engage in the appropriate activity. But that is what I would recommend, is that don't write to calm down, breathe and ground to calm down so that you can focus on documenting the steps in your healing journey. And the next step is time to write. So you're going to set your timer for 5 to 15 minutes and you are just going to write in a free-flowing style. I mentioned this in a previous video, and basically you are just writing. You're almost like brain dumping in a sense, where you are not giving much attention to punctuation, spelling, grammar, any of those kinds of things that people would normally pay attention to if they were in a writing class. But this is not a writing class. This is a healing activity as well as an activity to guide your process of how you've thought about what you've been through and where you believe that you're going as a result of engaging in this healing process. And so that is what this is about. And then after the 15 minutes, you can put it away, you can breathe, and if you want to go back and do some editing, that's up to you. But in this particular instance, that's not necessary. And the fourth step is to leave clues for when you go back to review. Now, this is after you've written for your 5 to 15 minutes free-flowing writing activity. And maybe you've put it away for a couple of hours or maybe even a couple of days, but you come back to review what you've written. And leaving breadcrumbs, leaving those clues for what your thinking process was 2 days ago or 2 hours ago helps you to really gain access about what you were really thinking about, how you were feeling in that moment. So you can leave clues with things like particular sayings, particular drawings, dates, timestamps, things that would alert you to a particular way of thinking, a particular way of feeling. Maybe you had certain sensations, ideas, insights. Leave those clues so that you can know. You come back and say, oh gosh, I was feeling like that, or wow, I really had clarity at that moment. Leave some clues, because a lot of times we review and we like to go back and look at what we wrote, maybe even years later. You'll be surprised at the insights that you can gain as a result of leaving those clues and going back and considering your thinking process in that moment. So how are you feeling about these steps so far? Are these things making sense to you? If they are, drop a comment and let me know. The fifth step is to do a thematic analysis. Don't worry about that word. It's just a fancy way of saying look for themes and patterns in your writing. Maybe there are phrases or words that you used over and over again. And so it's important to look at those, because sometimes that can tell you about something that's on your mind that might be bothering you, or that there's angst about it. Maybe there's some confusion and you want to resolve that in some kind of unconscious way. And so it's your unconscious is bringing it up for you to be able to look at more in detail. And so pay attention to those themes, those recurring themes and patterns, because they can help you think about some things that you may need to change, some things that you may need to add, modify, whatever the case may be, in order to not just document your healing journey, but to actually experience that healing process. The sixth and final step is to write down the words of your ancestors. Now, these can be profound words of cultural, ethnic ancestors, or they can actually be your bloodline ancestors. But think about the words that they used over the years to not just survive their situation, but to thrive in their situation, to reach new heights. And then think about how you have contributed to adding to those words, bringing those words to life to move society and culture forward. You know, in the words of my cultural ethnic ancestor, Shirley Chisholm, she said, if they don't allow you a seat at the table, bring your own folding chair. Or more contemporarily, Janelle Monáe, even if people don't like me, I'm going to love myself. Even if they're uncomfortable, I am going to love me. And those words carry a lot of weight, not just because of the people who were saying them, but because of the similar experiences that you've had and you've seen these people overcome. So harness the power of those words, use them in new ways to drive your healing process forward. So now you know 6 ways to start a journal to document your healing process through complex trauma, and to help you to continue practicing confronting those complex issues related to your intersecting marginalized identities. Be sure to get to your hands on my free Catching Fireflies Trauma Recovery Toolkit to help you stop trauma triggers in their tracks so that you can continue to make empowering decisions. You can get that toolkit by clicking the link below. If you're looking to connect with a tight-knit group of Fear Minimalists, you can connect with me on my Facebook page at The Fear Minimalist, and also at my Instagram page at Fear Minimalist, where I teach and share education-based content on how to transform trauma into your personal power. You can access both of those communities by clicking the links below. Okay, that will do it for today, guys. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button, share it with your friends, drop a comment below to let me know what your biggest takeaway was, and be sure to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Click that notification bell so that you'll never miss a video when I upload new content every single Wednesday. And remember that the sun is going to rise and shine bright tomorrow. And the question is, are you going to rise with it and allow your best self to shine? I hope you do. I'll see you next week. Bye.